Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Brynden Rivers, also known as Lord Bloodraven. He's a pretty important character in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, and he's even been mentioned in Game of Thrones. So let's get started. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another video about Game of Thrones? I'm so over it. But hear me out. Brynden Rivers is not your average Game of Thrones character. He's a badass sorcerer, a skilled warrior, and a wise advisor. He's also a tragic figure, as he's been forced to live a life of exile and isolation. So if you're looking for a character who's complex, interesting, and badass, then Brynden Rivers is the character for you. And if you're looking for a good laugh, then you're in luck. Because this video is going to be packed with humor. So without further ado, let's get started. History. Brynden Rivers was born in 175 AC, the fifth of the great bastards of King Aegon IV Targaryen. He was known for his intelligence and his ability to see the future, and he quickly rose through the ranks of the Night's Watch. He eventually became Lord Commander, and he led the Night's Watch during the Blackfyre rebellions. After the Blackfyre rebellions, Brynden was appointed Hand of the King to his half-nephew, Aerys I Targaryen. He served as Hand for many years, and he was instrumental in helping Aerys to rule the Seven Kingdoms. However, their relationship eventually soured, and Brynden was forced to flee King's Landing. Brynden eventually found his way to the Isle of Faces, where he became a Greenseer. Greenseers are people who can see the future, and they are often associated with the old gods. Brynden used his powers to help the Night's Watch fight against the White Walkers, and he eventually became the Three-Eyed Raven. Bibliography. Brynden Rivers is mentioned in several books in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. He is first mentioned in A Game of Thrones, and he is mentioned several more times in later books. He is also mentioned in the prequel series, A Dance with Dragons. Brynden Rivers is mentioned in several books in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. He is mentioned in the following books: A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons. Brynden Rivers is also mentioned in several short stories in the A Song of Ice and Fire universe. He is mentioned in the following stories: The Hedge Knight, The Sworn Sword, The Mystery Knight. Powers and abilities. Brynden Rivers is a very powerful character. He is a Greenseer, which means that he can see the future. He is also a skilled warrior, and he is an expert in warging. Warging is the ability to control the minds of animals. Brynden Rivers has used his powers to help the Night's Watch fight against the White Walkers. He has also used his powers to help the Targaryens rule the Seven Kingdoms. The Three-Eyed Raven, also known as Lord Bloodraven, is a powerful Greenseer who has lived for centuries. He has a number of abilities, including Greensight, the ability to see the past, present, and future through visions. Warging, the ability to enter the minds and bodies of animals and other living beings. Skin Changing, the ability to bond with and control animals and other living beings. Dreamwalking, the ability to enter the dreams of others. Weirwood.net, the ability to communicate with other Greenseers through the weirwood trees. The Three-Eyed Raven uses his powers to help Bran Stark learn to control his own Greensight abilities. He also helps Bran to understand the history of Westeros and the threat of the White Walkers. Conclusion. Brynden Rivers was a complex and enigmatic figure. He was a powerful sorcerer, a skilled warrior, and a gifted leader. He was also a man of great ambition, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. Brynden Rivers' legacy is still being debated today. Some people believe that he was a hero who fought for the good of the realm. Others believe that he was a villain who used his power for his own personal gain. Ultimately, it is up to each individual to decide what they believe about Brynden Rivers. However, there is no doubt that he was one of the most important figures in the history of Westeros, and his legacy will continue to be debated for years to come. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more Game of Thrones content. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be here until next time.